Professor Swaran Singh. Professor Singh, it's interesting. I read reports that when following the Saturday attack, a security cabinet meeting was held in Israel on Sunday. Uh, the two of the biggest hawks in Netanyahu's government, Bezalel Smotrich and Itamar Ben-Gvir, were actually absent. And that has been read by many as a sign that Israel, even if it does go ahead and retaliate, will in fact stop short of escalating this into a full scale war. I think it can be safely stated that the United States has a clear interest right now in ensuring that there is no further escalation. We know that the Ukraine war is anyway a very unpopular one in the United States, and that country is currently facing an election and tremendous political turmoil at home. Where do you see this going?
I think the sense, Neha, I noticed that you and Ambassador who just spoke have, is that this is not likely to escalate and become an all-out war. But this is also not going to stop any soon. That's the other end of what we are looking at. At the center of this storm is Benjamin Netanyahu. And there have been several experts who have mentioned that his political career perhaps continues just as long as the war does. Some kind of continuation is likely, but it's not likely to be continued in a fashion that becomes unacceptable to United States, which is fundamentally A1, which is October 8 onwards. And likewise, Israel has also been hitting the various targets in south of Lebanon, assuming that they are supposed to be Hezbollah targets. And claims are that Hezbollah fighters, as many as 383 have already died, and 100 plus civilians have died in Lebanon. Sometimes because there are too many killings in Gaza, this part doesn't get quite clearly noticed. So some kind of war has already been going on. And we are looking at reports that Hezbollah has already vacated a lot of their areas in southern Lebanon where they think Israel is going to strike. So in some sense, it looks like also a bit of stage-managed exercise where both sides are basically, flying rockets on each other. Here, I think military-industrial complex is the ultimate profiteer. But otherwise, there's no fundamental change here. And I think what we are seeing here is all kinds of clear messages coming from all different directions. You made mention of message of the deputy speaker from Lebanon and messages going across to Iran and so on. I think it's a kind of a fixed match, as if everybody is kind of talking that it's going to be calculated strikes. It's going to be not hitting airports, bridges, or city parts of Beirut like it happened in 2006. So, what kind of situation are we facing here? That Israel fundamentally continues that war. And, once in a while there is a strike from either Iran or Hezbollah in Lebanon. But it's going on. That is the problem. That war is not coming to an end. And the United States apparently is not making any efforts in that direction. It makes efforts in the direction of making sure it doesn't become all-out war. But it's not either making efforts or it's not successful vis-a-vis Netanyahu. And I think in that sense, greater onus should go to where you mentioned the right-wing partners of coalition not showing up at the high security cabinet meeting. And I think internally we have seen ministers resigning. So I think we are now likely to see greater hope being placed inside the cabinet and politics of Israel, where they would start putting some kind of expression of not being perfectly comfortable with the war continuing for 10 months and so on.
Yes.
Apparently, outside powers, France also is involved. About 20,000 French people live in Lebanon.
Yes.
They are also passing on messages between Israel and Hezbollah. But who can stop it? I think it's only inside politicians of Israel who can put a restraint on Netanyahu and tell him to now say goodbye to politics. Externally, there is no one who is able to influence.
Okay, I'm not sure if even Biden wanted to say